Il était séduisant et très intelligent. Il avait vraiment tout pour réussir.
Il ressemblait à un jeune Cary Grant.
Mais toutes ces belles qualités ne l'ont pas empêché de succomber à l'ivresse de la vengeance et d'assassiner plus de 35 femmes en 5 ans.
Pour lui, l'ultime plaisir sexuel, c'était une jolie femme menottée, terrorisée, qui savait qu'elle allait mourir.
Sure, I get angry. Very, very angry and indignant. I don't like being locked up for something I didn't do, and I don't like my liberty taken away, and I don't like being treated like an animal, and I don't like people walking around and ogling me like I'm some sort of weirdo, because I'm not.
Le matin du 24 janvier 1989 à 7 heures, un peu avant le lever du soleil, le bourreau s'affaire à la prison d'État de Stark, en Floride. Plusieurs ont attendu ce jour et redouté qu'il ne vienne jamais. Aujourd'hui, Ted Bundy, le plus célèbre tueur en série des États-Unis, sera exécuté. Après 10 ans dans le couloir de la mort, Bundy va être exécuté pour le meurtre en 1978 de Kimberly Leach, une jeune fille de 12 ans. Il avoue aussi avoir tué plus de 30 autres femmes. Son empreinte sanglante couvre 5 États. L'État de Washington, l'Oregon, l'Utah, l'Idaho et le Colorado. Depuis sa capture en 1976, Bundy capte l'attention de tous les médias. Le pays est fasciné par cet ancien Boy Scout, ce brillant étudiant en droit, ce jeune républicain qui a même été une étoile montante de la politique à Washington.
Le Ted Bundy que nous avons connu, avant qu'il ne soit arrêté et accusé, était un type très bien. On le comptait parmi nos amis. Il n'avait rien d'insolite ou d'inquiétant.
Une fois arrêté, Bundy nargue la justice. En attendant son procès pour meurtre au Colorado, il s'évade à 2 reprises. Après son arrestation en Floride, il assure lui-même sa défense et pose comme une vedette devant une horde d'admiratrices envoûtées.
Il se comportait comme une star du cinéma et lorsqu'il faisait un clin d'œil aux femmes, elles gloussaient avec lui. Mais ces filles ne saisissaient pas que si elles l'avaient rencontré un soir dans la rue, elles auraient bien pu être au nombre de ses victimes.
Mais lorsque vient l'heure d'entrer dans la salle d'exécution, Bundy perd sa belle assurance.
Bundy semblait résigné à son sort. Mais il est resté pétrifié en voyant la chaise électrique.
Ted, it is about 2:30 in the afternoon. You are scheduled to be executed tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock if you don't receive another stay. What is going through your mind? What thoughts have you had in these last few days?
Well, I won't kid you to say that it's something that I feel that I am in control of or something that I've come to terms with, because I haven't. It's a moment-by-moment thing. Sometimes I feel very tranquil and other times I don't feel tranquil at all. What's going through my mind right now is to use the minutes and hours that I have left as fruitfully as possible and see what happens. It helps to live in the moment in the essence that we use it productively. So right now I'm feeling calm, and in large part because I'm here with you.
For the record, you are guilty of killing many women and girls. Is
yes.
that correct?
Yes, that's true.
Ted, how did it happen? Take me back. What are the antecedents of the behavior that we've seen? So much grief, so much sorrow, so much pain for so many people. Where did it start? How did this moment come about?
That's the question of the hour, and one that not only people much more intelligent than I have been working on for years, but one that I've been working on for years and trying to understand. Is there enough time to explain it all? I don't know. I think I understand it, though. Understand what happened to me, to the extent that I can see how certain feelings and ideas developed in me to the point where I began to act out on them, certain very violent and very destructive feelings.
Right, let's go back then to those roots. First of all, you, as I understand it, were raised in what you consider to have been a healthy home.
Absolutely.
You were not physically abused, you were not sexually abused, you were not emotionally abused.
No, no way. And that's part of the tragedy of this whole situation, is because I grew up in a wonderful home with two dedicated and loving parents, one of 5 brothers and sisters. But as a young boy, and I mean a boy of 12 or 13, certainly, that I encountered outside the home again, in the local grocery store, or the local drugstore, the softcore pornography, what people call softcore. But as I think I explained to you last night, Dr. Dobson, in an anecdote, that as young boys do, we explored the back roads and sideways and byways of our neighborhood, and oftentimes people would dump the garbage and whatever they were cleaning out of their house, and from time to time we'd come across pornographic books of a harder nature than more graphic, you might say, more explicit nature than we would encounter, let's say, in your local grocery store. And this also included such things as, let's say, detective magazines and more hardcore.
Those that involve violence. Then.
Yes, yes, and and this is something I think I want to emphasize, is the most damaging kinds of pornography. And again, I'm talking from personal experience, hard, real personal experience. The most damaging kinds of pornography are those that involve violence and sexual violence. Because the wedding of those two forces, as I know only too well, brings about behavior that is just too terrible to describe. It happened in stages, gradually. It doesn't necessarily, not to me at least, happen overnight. My experience with, I'd say, pornography generally, but with pornography that deals on a violent level with sexuality, is that once you become addicted to it, and I look at this as a kind of addiction, like other kinds of addiction, I would keep looking for more potent, more explicit, more graphic kinds of material. Like an addiction, you keep craving something which is harder, something which gives you a greater sense of excitement, until you reach the point where the pornography only goes so far. You reach that jumping off point where you begin to wonder if maybe actually doing it will give you that which is beyond just reading about it or looking at it.
How long did you stay at that point before you actually assaulted someone?
Well, yeah, you see, I would say a couple years.
You feel this really deeply, don't you? Ted, outside these walls right now, there are several hundred reporters that wanted to talk to you.
Yeah.
And you asked me to come here from California because you had something you wanted to say. This hour that we have together is not just an interview with a man who's scheduled to die tomorrow morning. I am here, and you're here, because of this message that you're talking about right here. You really feel that hardcore pornography and the doorway to it, softcore pornography, is doing untold damage to other people and causing other women to be abused and killed the way you did others.
Listen, I'm no social scientist, and I haven't done a survey. I mean, I don't pretend that I know what John Q. Citizen thinks about this. But I've lived in prison for a long time now. And I've met a lot of men who were motivated to commit violence just like me. And without exception, every one of them was deeply involved in pornography, without question, without exception, deeply influenced and consumed by an addiction to pornography. There's no question about it. The FBI's own study on serial homicide shows that the most common interest among serial killers is pornography. And what scares me, and let's come into the present now, because what I'm talking about happened 20, 30 years ago, that is, in my formative stages. And what scares and appalls me, Dr. Dobson, is when I see what's on cable TV, some of the movies, I mean, some of the violence in the movies that come into homes today with stuff that they wouldn't show in X-rated adult theaters 30 years ago. This stuff...
The slasher movies that you're talking about.
That stuff is, I'm telling you, from personal experience, the most, that is graphic violence on screen, particularly as it gets into the home to children who may be unattended or unaware that they may be a Ted Bundy who has that vulnerability to that predisposition to be influenced by that kind of behavior, by that kind of movie, that kind of violence.
Do you deserve the punishment the state has inflicted upon you?
That's a very good question. And I'll answer it very honestly. I don't want to die. I'm not going to kid you. I'll kid you not. I deserve certainly the most extreme punishment society has, and I think society deserves to be protected from me and from others like me. That's for sure. I think what I hope will come of our discussion is I think society deserves to be protected from itself, because as we've been talking, there are forces at loose in this country, particularly again this kind of violent pornography, where on the one hand well-meaning, decent people will condemn behavior of a Ted Bundy while they're walking past a magazine rack full of the very kinds of things that send young kids down the road to be Ted Bundys. That's the irony. We're talking here not just about more. We're talking, what I'm talking about is going beyond retribution, which is what people want with me, going beyond retribution and punishment, because there is no way in the world that killing me is going to restore those beautiful children to their parents and correct and soothe the pain. But I'll tell you, there are lots of other kids playing in streets around this country today who are going to be dead tomorrow and the next day and the next day and next month, because other young people are reading the kinds of things and seeing the kinds of things that are available in the media today.
Ted, as you would imagine, there's tremendous cynicism about you on the outside, and I suppose for good reason. I'm not sure that there's anything that you could say that people would believe. Some people would believe.
Yeah.
And yet, you told me last night, and I've heard this through our mutual friend John Tanner, that you have accepted the forgiveness of Jesus Christ and are a follower and a believer in Him. Do you draw strength from that as you approach these final hours?
I do. I can't say that
it's going to be
being
easy.
in the valley of the shadow of death is something that I've become all that accustomed to, and that I'm strong and nothing's bothering me. Listen, it's no fun. It gets kind of lonely, and yet I have to remind myself that every one of us will go through this someday, in one way or another.
It's appointed unto man.
And countless millions who have walked this earth before us have. So this is just an experience which we all share.
À l'extérieur de la prison, une foule d'environ 500 personnes attend avidement l'annonce de sa mort en chantant « Brûle, Bundy, brûle !»
They ran electricity through it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
À 7h16, un bourreau anonyme appuie sur le bouton. Un courant de 2000 volts traverse le corps de Bundy. 60 secondes plus tard, un des pires tueurs en série de tous les temps est déclaré mort.
Lorsque nous sommes sortis après l'exécution, il y avait un véritable carnaval. Les gens qui étaient massés là poussaient des cris de joie, jouaient de la trompette et fêtaient.
Ted Bundy aura eu une mort plus douce que n'importe laquelle de ses 35 victimes. Leur nombre exact est inconnu. C'est un secret que le tueur a emporté dans la tombe.